Did Caitlin Clark just force the biggest names in the NBA to break their silence? For weeks, she was taking brutal hits on the court, fouled hard and often, while the WNBA's official channels said nothing. Fans were outraged. Analysts skirted around the issue. But then the silence shattered, not from the league, but from the NBA's biggest stars. And what they said wasn't polite PR fluff. It was raw, unfiltered, and in some cases, downright shocking. Pascal Siakam didn't just throw Caitlin a compliment, he changed the conversation entirely. When asked who gets the most love instead of naming an NBA teammate or rival, Pascal went straight to Caitlin Clark. He compared her impact directly to Tyrese Halliburton, one of the most exciting point guards in the NBA, and still said Caitlin was the one who captured the world's attention. This wasn't a passing mention, it was a reality check. Caitlin Clark isn't just popular in women's basketball. She's outshining top names in the NBA in terms of fan love. And when someone like Pascal sees that and says it, it signals a cultural shift that can't be ignored. Obi Toppin isn't known for grand speeches, but that made his take even more powerful. His words weren't polished or rehearsed, they were real. When he spoke about Caitlin Clark, he sounded like a kid in awe, not a pro protecting his image. He called her amazing, emphasized how NBA players love watching her, and spoke about her games as if they were can't-miss events. Obi's tone said it all. Caitlin isn't an outsider to be politely acknowledged. She's a peer, an equal, someone whose game NBA players genuinely admire. And that hits harder than any scripted soundbite. Tyrese Halliburton's praise cut even deeper. He's not some distant observer. He knows Caitlin personally, shares her city, and has seen what she's endured. Tyrese called her an amazing player, and more importantly, an amazing person, highlighting how she's handled a tidal wave of rhetoric and pressure with grace. But what really turned heads was when Tyrese said Caitlin Clark is probably a top 5 most famous active basketball player, including the NBA. That's not hyperbole. That's a player in the league saying she's up there with LeBron, Steph, and Jokic. And when an NBA All-Star says it so casually, it's a sign of how massive Caitlin's presence has become. LeBron James' words carried even more weight because when the face of basketball talks, the entire world listens. He didn't just hype Caitlin, he celebrated what she's done for the sport itself. LeBron praised the excitement she brings, the record viewership she drives, and the fact that, thanks to her, the WNBA chartered a private flight for the first time ever. He pointed out that this milestone should be celebrated because it proves Caitlin is changing the game. LeBron knows what it means to carry expectations, and in his praise, you could hear the respect of a legend recognizing another trailblazer. Trae Young took things further, not just admiring Caitlin, but openly wanting to compete against her. When asked if he'd face Caitlin Clark in a three-point contest, Trae didn't hesitate. He was all in. And when he said he'd need to actually practice this time, it wasn't condescension. It was genuine respect for her shooting ability. Trae even shared that he and Caitlin are the only 2 players in NCAA history to lead the nation in both points and assists in the same season. That's not a fun fact. That's a stamp of greatness. And Trae's willingness to share the spotlight, or even risk losing to Caitlin, shows she's earned his respect on a level few ever reach. Luka Doncic kept it simple, but the simplicity made it powerful. When asked who his favorite women's basketball player is, Luka answered without hesitation, Caitlin Clark. He didn't waffle, didn't pad his response. He made it clear Caitlin is the one doing it at the highest level right now. Luka knows what it takes to go from college hype to pro success, and his words showed he sees Caitlin as not just a promising talent, but someone who's arrived and is already delivering on the biggest stage. Paul George offered the most nuanced take of all. While others focused on praise, Paul zoomed out and spoke about the shift Caitlin represents. He acknowledged the grinding vets who spent years building the WNBA from empty gyms to what it is now, only to watch Caitlin walk in and instantly become the face of the league. Paul didn't criticize Caitlin, thought he called her an instant change. recognizing her greatness while highlighting the sting veterans might feel when their hard work goes unnoticed in the new spotlight. Paul's honesty exposed the emotional complexity of this moment, making it clear Caitlyn's rise is as disruptive as it is inspiring. But not every NBA star had praise. Jason Tatum, when asked a softball question, "Who's your favorite WNBA player?" chose not to acknowledge Caitlyn at all. He gave a curt, almost dismissive answer, "Aja Wilson," with zero context or enthusiasm. No shout-out for Caitlyn's historic season, no nod to her massive impact. Just a deadpan response that felt colder than a missed free throw. And considering Caitlyn's made more people watch the WNBA than ever before, Tatum's silence wasn't just a missed opportunity. It felt like an intentional statement. "I see what you're doing, and I don't care." Kevin Durant's response cut even deeper. Asked to name his favorite female athlete, KD didn't hesitate. But he didn't pick Caitlyn either. He chose Angel Reese, Caitlyn's most high-profile rival, the one who's thrown the most shade her way. Make no mistake, KD knows exactly what he's doing with every word he says publicly. By picking Reese, he wasn't just ignoring Caitlyn's influence, he was undermining it. It wasn't an innocent preference. It was a deliberate choice to back the one person who's gone head-to-head with Caitlyn in the media spotlight. From a superstar like Durant, that's a message. I'm not with her. These contrasting reactions show exactly why Caitlyn Clark's moment matters. The NBA's biggest stars don't all agree on her. Some praise her openly. Some pretend she doesn't exist. But none of them can ignore her. Pascal Siakam admitted she gets more love than his NBA teammates. Steph Curry called out the league for not protecting her, praising her game as identical to his own. LeBron James recognized her as the spark that's changing the sports landscape. Tyrese Halliburton put her name beside the NBA's biggest legends. Luka Doncic validated her status as an elite hooper. Trae Young offered to face her on the biggest stage. Paul George highlighted the cultural earthquake she's causing. And yes, Tatum and Durant showed there's still resistance. Proof that Caitlyn's presence is powerful enough to make even the NBA's brightest stars pick a side. This isn't just hype, it's legacy in the making. Caitlyn Clark isn't only changing the WNBA, she's forcing the entire basketball world to react. She's earned the spotlight, the scrutiny, and the praise. And the best part? She's just getting started. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Caitlyn is the game changer basketball needed? Or will the backlash hold her back? Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories diving into the moments redefining sports. Because Caitlyn's story is far from over, and the next chapter might shake the game even harder.